Midlife crisis. Do you instantly think of a Harley-mounted, silver-haired 50-something man? No? Or woman riding off into the sunset with a younger partner?
I mean, I have a Vespa, so the crisis is manageable, right? But I can see, I'm going to be the butt of some jokes here, but perhaps what we call a midlife crisis is a genuinely unhappy older person desperately trying to reclaim their life.
Yeah, is it a real psychological problem or just a cultural myth? Joining us today to explain is clinical psychologist and mind-body expert Leanne Hall.
Hi, Leanne.
Hello. What is a midlife crisis? Is this real?
Well, look, you're right. It's typically associated with a middle-aged man or woman who is generally quite unhappy with their life. So it's a term that's been bandied around since around the 1960s. And although it was a psychoanalyst that came up with it, it's actually economists who are the ones that actually have given us somewhat evidence that this actually exists. But from a psychological point of view, I'd have to say no.
Do we suffer from this midlife crisis?
Well, by virtue of the fact that it's a crisis, I think we can. But I think most of us can go through midlife unscathed and albeit very kind of happy. But there are a certain number of people who actually do struggle. But really what we're talking about is more of a developmental crisis or an existential crisis, if you like, rather than a chronological age. You can't possibly connect a chronological age or number with a psychological phenomenon.
And it isn't, like, it's always associated with men, isn't it? But women go through their own crises through life, and sometimes around the similar age, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Why is it that we go, OK, yeah, it's the silver-haired fox riding off in his Ferrari or whatever? Why is that been coined that way?
Well, because I think when the term came out, it was typically at a time when the stereotype of a Western kind of home, if you like, was the lady was the stay-at-home mum.
Right.
So she didn't have career necessarily, I should say. But so back when the term first came around, it was more about men who were unhappy with their job and, you know, flew off with the secretary in a sports car or stuff. But I think now women, because women do have those pressures, I think it is becoming something that women are suffering from as well.
But we're always trying to make it a negative thing. What about all those people that have lived and worked their whole lives, the kids leave home and they go, yes, I want a Ferrari. Yes, I want to look after myself. I want to do something with my life. Isn't that a positive? Oh,
it sure is. And that's the trick, I guess. It's about looking at it not necessarily as a negative, but when we are at a point in our life when we kind of feel like we're questioning things and we're unhappy, do something about it. Reflect. Have a think about what you want to do next.
So you buy that low-slung aerodynamic Porsche, but you do your knee getting into it.
And getting out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real issue.
OK, some great tips. So just weather the storm, you know, and see it as a positive is the takeaway message.
Look, don't be afraid to get old. There's nothing wrong with age. I think we live in a society where we don't value that. So often we ignore that we're getting older and we put it off, so we don't plan for our future. So we get to a point in our life and we think, oh my gosh, I've only got so many... It's over. I haven't planned retirement. What am I going to do?
Right.
So I think if we kind of embrace it and actually plan for it and reframe it, that's right.
I've made extensive notes in 15 years. When I hit that 50 mark, I'll come back. Thank you, Leanne.